to the Tesla shareholder meeting.
Okay.
And I just want to start off by saying, hot damn, I love you guys. Yeah. We have the most awesome shareholder base. I mean, it's just incredible. Any public company, it's incredible. Wow.
All right.
Chancellor Kathleen St. Jude McCormick ruled in January in a shareholder
How about
suit that
the
Musk
NBA?
essentially controlled the Tesla
Any scores in the NBA?
in 2018, and that it failed to fully
Good morning.
inform shareholders who approved
By the
it
way,
same year.
hello.
Musk reassured shareholders that he'll
NHL
them he can't
scores.
sell any stock in the compensation package for
And
Tesla has struggled with falling sales and profit margins
MLB.
as demand for electric vehicles low worldwide. Meanwhile,
Ah.
former employee sued SpaceX and
Quick.
Musk, alleging that he ordered them fired after they challenged what they called rampant sexual harassment and hostile animal
Florida
rights
leads the
work
series
style environments
3-0.
at the company. The employees who filed suit
There
in
we
the
go.
California State Court detailed their complaints
What am
the
I?
management they shared via a company intranet.
Oh, we're going to talk
The
about
plaintiffs were fired, they alleged. Others were terminated
book signing.
after an internal investigation. In January, the Federal National Labor Relations Board filed its own complaint.
A's versus the Twins. A's lose.
Fired employees. More on the way on this Friday morning. You've got a
Dodgers versus the Rangers. Dodgers lose.
Their healthy arteries make a gas. Yes, actually, 3 main gases. Hi, I'm Dr. Nick, and nitrogen is a gas that's readily made all day long to keep our arteries
Make a new copy here in a minute.
in the blood vessel walls. By doing this, our circulation
Oh,
is
by
increased,
Tuesday.
bringing blood, oxygen, and nutrients
PCR.
to every part of your body.
Okay.
Both age and poor diet.
Okay.
All
All right. All right.
Blood pressure can go up, energy can go down, and you can get tingling in your hands and feet. Well, our product, Ultimate Nitric Oxide, can easily help fix this lack of nitric oxide. Go to totalwellness.com. That's totalwellness.com.
5 seconds, Adam.
Look good, feel good, and enjoy Total Wellness.
And good Friday morning to you. It is Friday, June 14th. It is 14 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:14 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Shingle Springs. Currently, it is 58 degrees where you're at right now. Looking for a high today of 88 degrees. All right, let's turn it over now, as we do, to the Fox Business Report.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stock futures are losing ground after the NASDAQ and S&P 500 rose 2 records yesterday.
Okay.
14%. Software
Please join us on June 15th.
And it's raising expectations for
Tomorrow
Adobe says it had a great first half of
at the
year.
Wild Eye Pub in Grass Valley. Book signing.
Helped by its generative AI, cloud computing, and productivity.
Tales from a Rogue Ranger.
Apple shares rose yesterday.
Rose
pushing Apple to the market's most
McHenry?
valuable company.
Friend of the show, Rose McHenry.
Shares of luxury home furnishings retailer RH are down 11%. Lost more money than expected in recent weeks. Now that shareholders have approved Elon Musk's $48 billion pay package, the issue returns to the court where it was tossed down. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Kosella, invested in you.
We got the loan you need. That credit shouldn't stop you from getting a new car. Visit amnestycredit.com, where in credit score plus $150 a week in income equals a free interest rates as low as 4.99%. I did okay. To learn more, just go to amnestycredit.com and get credit approval in just seconds without impacting your credit score. That's amnestycredit.com.
It's a catchy tune.
Pay your cycle. Let us help you build your
Give him that.
With Rose at amnestycredit.com, our credit expert.
Yeah, and it's different than most of the stuff over here.
Without impacting your credit score. Oh, yeah.
AmnestyCredit.com.
We got the loan you need. AmnestyCredit.com. We got the loan you need.
16 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:16 a.m. Gang, let's talk about an event for the weekend. Friend of the show, Rose McHenry, is having a book signing. You know, Tales from a Rogue Ranger. We interviewed Rose a little while back there. Fascinating book. Actually, just saw it. We've got it in the car there. We're reading little sections of it to the kids. Really great short stories that she's combined. It's going to be a book signing. It's going to be tomorrow from 2 to 4 p.m. at the Wild Eye Pub in Grass Valley. There's going to be music, games, prizes. There's going to be an author talk by Rose and a book signing. The event is free. You can't beat free. It's great. It's something to go out and do. Maybe meet some friends. Maybe make some new friends. And it'll be Rose is going to be reading anecdotes from her newest book, Tales from a Rogue Ranger. Now, no one really knows what a park ranger truly does. Prepare to be entertained as you hear the tales, and then join for the wild ride as she shares about crazy and amazing things that happened at California state parks. There is, I gotta tell you, having read some of it, there are some good stories in there. Also, the Wild Eye is a classic roadhouse featuring daily entertainment. Local musician Charlie Price will be playing the slide guitar there. There's going to be games, prizes, and of course, an author talk by Rose McHenry and the book signing. You can find out more at her website, and that is, as soon as I can find it here, I just lost it here. There we go, triptalesbook.com. Talesbook.com. And again, that is going to be tomorrow, Saturday, at the Wild Eye Pub in Grass Valley from 2 to 4 p.m. The event is free. Back with more right after this.
Farm on Highway 80 in Newcastle. With the new year, it's time to spray the weeds, lay down the fertilizer, and soon time to plant the pastures. Fix or replace the fence. Ever hear the term good fences make great neighbors? Well, it's true. Bring your plan to Classic Farm Supply and our knowledgeable staff will get you started. We've got your critters covered too, from livestock and poultry to cat and dog. We can feed them all. Classic Farm Supply, the Big Red Barn on Highway 80 in Newcastle. Come see us for all your critter and farming and ranching needs.
Hi, this is Mike Nichols. What are you
Hi,
doing
Mike.
Sunday?
Ooh, what are you doing Sunday, baby?
Join me for the KAHI Swap Shop this Sunday morning at 8 o'clock. The KAHI Swap Shop. This and every Sunday morning starting at 8 here on FM 104.5, AM 950, and KAHI.com, the voice of the foothills.
What do you say now? It's a nice day now. What are you doing Sunday, baby? 19 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:19 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, sports ball. You fan of the Stanley Cup? You watch the hockey? Not looking good for the Canadian team, ironically. We'll check that when we come back. Off now to America's First News. See you back at the bottom of the hour.
America's First News continues. Today, President Joe Biden and
Oh, good morning. Oh, there you go. There you are, and there you go.
They hailed as a milestone in relations between their countries. But that was not enough to
Chuck!
from wondering how
Pearson smashes a 430-foot grand slam for the D-backs. Bro crushed it.
Held up aid to the country. Biden apologized for it.
President Zelensky and I have just now signed that agreement between the United States and Ukraine.
13
Our
punch-outs.
goal is to strengthen Ukraine's credible defense and deterrence capabilities for the long term. It's been a hard time to deal with.
Finding some local sports ball news.
But also been a test for the world. Would we stand with Ukraine? Would we stand for sovereignty, freedom, and against tyranny?
Наскільки вистачить єдності в світі?
Oh, I think the question has to be for how long the unity will last. The unity in the United States together with the European leaders. How these or those elections will influence this unity. It seems to me that we should look on this exactly this way, to preserve unity, to preserve the integrity of the world, integrity of the democratic world, because if Ukraine does not stand the democracy of many others,
the U.S. and European countries also agreed to keep sanctions Russian assets locked up until Moscow pays reparations for its invasion of Ukraine and clears the way for a $50 billion loan package for Ukraine.
Not the only sports.
Announced earlier in the week, Biden said the series of actions to support Ukraine show that Putin cannot wait us out and divide us. Since Russia's full-fledged invasion in February of 2022, Ukraine's Western backers have routinely met as part of the Ukraine Defense Contact Group run by the Pentagon to drum up weapons and ammunition for Kyiv. A fresh meeting was held at NATO headquarters Thursday. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin touted Ukraine's defense against Russia's invasion.
It has been 840 days since Putin launched his full-scale invasion of Ukraine. And Ukraine's defenders have inflicted staggering losses on the Russian invaders. Since Putin's full-scale invasion in February 2022, at least 350,000 Russian troops have been killed or wounded. Ukrainian forces have sunk, destroyed, or damaged 24 Russian vessels in the Black Sea. And since September of last year, just before the Kremlin began its renewed offensive, Russia has lost more than 2,600 combat vehicles to front lines in Ukraine. As Russian invaders moved forward west of Avdiivka, they lost more than 160 combat vehicles there in May alone. So that's just another reminder of the price that Russia has paid.
The final sporting event of 2023-24 academic year was Sunday afternoon at the Army Depot Fields in Sacramento. As the top senior baseball players from Sacramento area donned their school colors one final time for the Optimus All-Star Game. Colfax's Nave privileged to coach Blasters Williamson. Blasters Williamson stars in 10 pitches.
Financial support for Ukraine. A U.S. Navy submarine has arrived in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba.
Blasters Williamson throws shutdown inning.
Military exercises in the Caribbean. U.S. Southern Command said the
Blasters Jack Williamson was the lone hillman in action Sunday and represented the smallest
an oil tanker and a rescue tug crossed into
final sporting event began. So shut down inning. Lone in the action Sunday and represented the smallest school in the large school game. Williamson needed only 10 pitches to complete a shutdown inning, setting down the South.
We've been tracking the Russians' plans.
Setting down the
We've seen them do these type of port calls.
opposing
These are routine naval visits that we've seen
team
under different
in order.
administrations.
Let's say that we're going to do that.
Operating near U.S. territorial waters.
Sounds like John Oliver.
Is this seen as some sort of muscle flexing on the side of Russia?
I'd refer you to the Russians to speak to their operations and exercises. It certainly wouldn't come up as a surprise to us if we see more activity.
And here's your KAHI news for Friday, June 14th. I'm Chris Quant. Good paying jobs, changing industry needs. Topic of first ever workforce summit at Sierra College. This is from the Auburn Journal. An ever-changing economy, hard to fill jobs, new technologies, and preparing people to get good paying jobs are all the topics of a first-of-its-kind workforce summit being held at Sierra College in Rockland. The summit will be held June 18th and will bring together the major employers in Placer County, along with education providers, to talk about how to best prepare people to meet the needs of employers, according to Sierra College President Willie Duncan. Quote, if you look at Placer County and our economy, we've got a growing economy. We've got technology that really is revolutionizing and changing what the work world will look like and the kinds of employers we have in our community, unquote, Duncan explained. Quote, and what that's created is some hard to fill jobs and new skills that individuals need in order to be successful in the workforce, unquote. A prime example, according to Duncan, is the semiconductor chip manufacturing company Bosch, which has come to Roseville. The company plans to invest some $1.5 billion to transform a Roseville facility into a state-of-the-art plant capable of producing and testing carbide semiconductors, which are a key building block for electronic vehicles. Bosch will be employing a few thousand people who will need specialized training for these jobs. But it isn't just new companies that will have high demand for workers with specialized training. Duncan says longtime local businesses have a growing need for workers with a wide range of skills and education. Quote, even existing companies in the area like healthcare, for example, Kaiser and Sutter and Dignity Health all of our healthcare providers that are in the area and all of our health care providers that are in the area. They've got needs that need to be filled, unquote, Duncan explains. Quote, many of them have IT needs, cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is a big issue. So these are some of the growing needs and demands in the community. And how do we at Sierra College create programs that can meet that need, unquote. Input from this workforce summit may result in Sierra College creating new programs or modifying some of the programs they have, Duncan said. Keynote speakers will include Ben Chida, Senior Advisor to Governor Gavin Newsom, and Todd Trotter, Senior VP for Human Resources for Kaiser Permanente, one of the largest employers in the region. Some of the key sponsors of the event are the Auburn, Lincoln, Rockland, and Roseville Chambers of Commerce and the Placer Business Alliance. Registration for the Sierra Workforce Summit is open at sierracollege.edu/SWS. There is no cost to attend, but seating is limited. More information can be found at sierracollege.edu. Back with more information after this. Continuing now to KAHI News from the Morning Brew, Euro 2024 kicks off today. The 17th edition of the Quadriennial. The 17th edition of the Quadriennial football soccer tournament starts today when host country Germany faces Scotland in the first 51 matches to determine European supremacy. Apart from the hosts, the favorites include England, France, Portugal, Spain, and defending champs Italy. The pressure is heavy on England, which has never won the Euros and hasn't won a major tournament since 1966 World Cup. Ukraine, meanwhile, will likely be a fan favorite in the competition as the country defends itself from Russia's invasion. The month-long tournament could give a fleeting boost to Germany's economy. The country expects to sell 2.7 million tickets and earn $4 billion in additional tourism sales. And from the Morning Brew, here's what else is brewing. Wholesale prices unexpectedly fell 0.2% last month. Further evidence that the U.S. is getting inflation under control. Extreme. Powered by science. Okay, Colfax, you're going to get a shout out. LinkedIn rolled out a slate of AI features, including AI-powered career coaches for premium members. Evan Gershkovich. Evan Gershkovich. The Wall Street Journal reporter wrongfully imprisoned in Russia was accused of spying for the CIA in an evidence-free indictment. The computer servers for GameStop's annual shareholders meeting crashed yesterday due to overwhelming interest. 15 seconds, Adam. And Elon Musk was sued by 8 former SpaceX employees for sexual harassment and retaliation, which Musk has denied. And finally, also from the Morning Brew, today's word of the day is quadriennial. And good Friday morning to you. It is Friday, June 14th. It is 30 minutes past the top of the hour. And hey, good morning to you, Colfax. Currently, it is 61 degrees where you're at right now. Looking for a high today. Not too shabby, 84 degrees out there. All right, it is the sports ball music. Let's get right into it, starting on the ice. Watch out, it's slippery. Well, it was pretty slippery for the Oilers anyway. I couldn't figure out. I was trying to, pretty sure Adam, remind me not to try puns next time when it comes to hockey. Panthers versus the Oilers. Panthers win that one 4-3. This is the Stanley Cup final, by the way. That was game 3. Florida leads that series 3-0. We'll see if the Canadian team can come back there. Going to the NBA, we've got the Celtics versus the Mavericks in Game 4 of the series. That's today at 5:30 p.m. on ABC. That is, Game 4. Boston leads that series 3-0. Heading over to the MLB, the major leagues here. A's versus the Twins. Well, Twins took that one 6-2. A's play again today versus Minnesota. That's going to be a 4:30 radio start time here on KAHI. A 5:10 is the first pitch. So catch all of the action here on KAHI. A's versus the Twins. That's game 2 of that series. today starting at 4:30 p.m. on KAHI. And then we'll have a couple of morning games on Saturday and Sunday to round out that series, both starting at 10:30 a.m. Hey, good news for Giants fans. The Giants didn't play yesterday, so they did neither won nor lost. But good news in that Texas beat LA. Texas Rangers beat the Dodgers 3-1 there. Diamondbacks versus the Angels. Former Giant Jock Peterson smashes a 430-foot, good Lord, grand slam for the D-backs. They ran away with that one over the Angels, 11-1. Holy bananas. Yankees versus the Royals. Royals on top. They're so used to saying the Yankees win. Royals on top. They're 4-3 going locally here to the Auburn Journal. The final sporting event of the 2023-2024 academic year was Sunday afternoon at the Army Depot Fields in Sacramento as the top senior baseball players from the Sacramento area donned their school colors one final time for the Optimus All-Star Games. From Placer, Placer's Williamson throws shutdown inning. Placer's Jack Williamson was the lone Hillman in action Sunday and represented the smallest school in the large school game. Williamson needed only 10 pitches to complete a shutdown inning, setting down the opposing team down in order. Very cool. Back with your KAHI weather right after this. Sports is such a struggle. It's so funny. I want to sound like I know what I'm doing, but I don't.
Everything you need right now for the warmer weather: shorts, t-shirts, Levi's, those hands-free slip-on sneakers, and much more, all on sale. So save money, time, and gas by shopping at McCullough.
Timmy, you're up.
Auburn Town Center, right off the bell.
Friday weather forecast is calling for mostly sunny skies. It'll be in the mid-to-upper 80s today. It looks like a southwest wind about 10 miles per hour. Mostly clear overnight around 55. The dry, sunny weather will continue Saturday and Sunday. And with that spring sunshine, it should be in the mid-80s each afternoon. Summer doesn't arrive until Thursday, June 20th. We'll keep you updated. This is meteorologist Tim Ray from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
33 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:33 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, we're going to have your KAHI news. We'll have your California Ag Report. Also, hazardous waste collection is happening this weekend. You got something sitting around the house that you're like, there's no good way to get rid of that. But there's a way to get rid of it. If it's hazardous waste this weekend, it'll be in Colfax and then in Forest Hill after that. I'll tell you all about that. Also, Mary Jane Pop's going to join me in the 8 o'clock hour. We're going to have our normal Friday talk. Looking forward to that. Off now to America's First News. I'll see you back here in just a little bit.
Good Friday morning, America's First News continues on this 14th day of June, 34 minutes past the hour.
Okay.
Is facing one of its most
Okay, so we are doing the hazardous waste drop-off.
Is deciding to it safe to keep delivering supplies arriving by sea to starving Palestinians. The United Nations, the player with the widest reach delivering aid within Gaza, has paused its work with the pier after a June 8th operation by Israeli security forces that rescued 4 Israeli hostages and killed more than 270 Palestinians. And sweltering temperatures, Muslim pilgrims in Mecca converged on a vast tent camp in the desert on Friday, officially opening the annual Hajj pilgrimage. Ahead of the trip, they circled the Grand Mosque, Islam's holiest site. More than 1.5 million pilgrims from around the world have already amassed in and around Mecca for the Hajj, and the number was still growing as more pilgrims from inside Saudi Arabia joined. Saudi authorities expected the number of pilgrims to exceed 2 million this year. This year's Hajj comes against the backdrop of the raging war in the Gaza Strip between Israel and Palestinian militants, which pushed the entire Middle East to the brink of a regional war between Israel and its allies on one side and Iran-backed militant groups on the other. Forecasters warn Floridians to prepare for additional flash flooding. A tropical disturbance dumped as much as 20 inches of rain in the southern parts of the state, with worsening conditions expected today. The disorganized storm system was pushing across the state from the Gulf of Mexico at roughly the same time as the early June start of hurricane season, which this year is forecast to be among the most active in recent memory. The downpours hit Tuesday and continued into Wednesday, delaying flights at 2 of the state's largest airports and leaving vehicles waterlogged installed in some of the region's lowest lying streets. U.S. journalist Evan Gerskovich, who has been jailed for over a year in Russia on espionage charges, will stand in trial, authorities announced Thursday. An indictment at the Wall Street Journal reporter's been finalized, and his case was filed. There was no word on when the trial would begin. Gershkovich was detained while on a reporting trip in March of 2023, accused of spying for the United States. State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller on the upcoming trial.
There's absolutely zero credibility to those charges. We have been clear from the start that Evan has done nothing wrong. He should never have been arrested in the first place. Journalism is not a crime. The charges against him are false, and the Russian government knows that they are false. He should be released immediately. And I can tell you that on behalf of the United States government, we will continue to work to bring home Evan Gershkovich and Paul Whelan every day. It's something that we are constantly working on and constantly pursuing.
Can I follow up on that? Thanks, Matt. Are you concerned at all for his safety as he is transferred from Moscow to Ekaterinburg? And Roger Carson said you guys had this contact with him during that time.
I don't have any specific concerns to mention here, but we are I will say we are in contact with Evan. We've been in contact and we've had consular visits with him regularly. The last one we had was in May. We will continue to seek consular access to him. It's something that we have demanded from the Russian government and continue to push for. And part of the reason we do that is just so we can regularly check on his safety and his well-being, and that's what we'll continue to do.
The Biden administration has sought to negotiate his release, but Russia's foreign ministry said Moscow would consider a prisoner swap only after a verdict in his trial. Since sending troops to Ukraine, Russian authorities have detained several U.S. nationals and other Westerners. President Joe Biden said Thursday he won't use his presidential powers to lessen the eventual sentence that will get for his federal felony conviction on gun crimes. Biden, following the conclusion of a news conference held at the Group of Seven Summit on the world's wealthiest democracies, responded he would not when asked whether he plans to commute the sentence for his son.
With regard to the question regarding the family, I'm extremely proud of my son Hunter. He has overcome an addiction. He's one of the greatest, most decent men I know. And I am satisfied that I'm not going to do anything. I said I'd abide by the jury decision. I will do that, and I will not pardon him.
Hunter Biden's sentencing date hasn't been set, and the 3 counts carry up to 25 years in prison, though that is unlikely as a first-time offender. Now, crews scheduled today to begin tearing down the 3-story classroom building 17 people died in the 2018 mass shooting at Parkland's Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. The victims' families have been invited to watch the first blows and hammer off a piece themselves if they choose. Officials plan to complete the weeks-long project before the school's 3,300 students return in August from summer vacation. Most were in elementary school when the shooting happened. The building had been kept intact to serve as evidence in the shooter's 2022 penalty trial. Jurors toured the crime scene but spared the shooter the death penalty. Turning to sports this morning, and Captain Alexander Barkov set up a goal and scored another. Sergei Bobrovsky made some of the biggest of his 32 saves to thwart a comeback bid. And the Panthers held on to beat the Edmonton Oilers 4-3 in Game 3 of the Cup final Thursday night. Florida took another step toward hockey's mountaintop by pouncing on a handful of Edmonton turnovers and keeping Connor McDavid from scoring a goal. They can win the first title in franchise history as soon as Game 4 on Saturday night in Edmonton. And the Boston Celtics can win an 18th championship tonight as they have a 3-0 lead in the NBA Finals, a lead that's never been wasted in any NBA series. Their first title in 16 years is just 1 win away, and Celtics star Jason Tatum says his team is ready after coming up short in recent years.
I think from our experiences over the past couple of years, the thing that we really have gotten a lot better at is not relaxing. Not being complacent, from game to game or series to series, we always want more. Maybe in recent years we were took things for granted at some points, or we're happy to make it to certain rounds where we're not satisfied. Even now 3-0, nobody is celebrating or anything. We still feel like it's a lot more that we can do. It's a lot more that we want to do. So from that standpoint, just, not being complacent and everybody just wanting more and being true to that.
Dallas came close to coming back in Game 3 until Luka Doncic fouled out after criticizing calls all night and losing his cool. He told ESPN's Malika Andrews he apologized to his teammates.
Yeah, it was tough. Probably wasn't the smartest thing. But just, it was a physical game. get 6 fouls. I didn't expect it.
You're the ultimate competitor. I'm sure you wanted to be out on the floor. How did it feel watching your teammates have to battle without you when the game was within reach for those final 4 minutes?
It's tough. I always say, it's easier to win a game than being on the bench. I was more nervous on the bench.
So Kyrie said after the game, what did you say to Luka? And he said at this point, you just kind of have to give him a hug and tell him it's okay. But did you feel like you let your teammates down?
Yeah, of course. I mean, like I said, it wasn't the smartest thing to do, especially in this situation. It's the finals. You got to give everything. A little time out there. But yeah, cards are good for me. Just having it.
So what did you say to your teammates afterwards?
It's my bad. Can't do that, especially in NBA finals.
The only way for the Celtics to lose this series is if they lose the next 4 games. And UConn's men's basketball coach Dan Hurley addressed the media for the first time since turning down a 6-year, $70 million offer to coach the LA Lakers. Hurley told reporters Thursday he had considered the opportunity to try and lead UConn to a 3rd consecutive national title or the chance to become the coach of one of the NBA's most storied franchises. And he asked himself one question: where do you belong?
Everybody has a dollar. And when it's like, it's like, I don't know what that looks like. I can imagine what the number was. But I'm sure every human being has a number that they wouldn't. But that was a big number. Considering places that I've coached a lot less for a lot less than that. The part that sucked was that I wished it would have been a worse opportunity. Right? Like, it was the Lakers, man. It's like you just wish it wasn't that unbelievable of an opportunity, because that's the only type of thing it would have taken, for me to have any consideration of leaving a place like this.
Hurley denied his flirtation with the Lakers was used as leverage to get more money from UConn. The Lakers fired Darvin Ham after he went 90-74 in 2 seasons, leading to the pursuit of Hurley. LA has yet to name a coach. And Garrett Crockett struck out a career-high 13 over 7 dominant innings. Andrew Vaughn homered and drove in the tie-breaking run in the 10th, and the Chicago White Sox knocked off the Mariners 3-2. More on the way on this Friday morning. We are just getting started. Grab the coffee. Let's go. You're listening to America's First News.
Breaking news first.
America's First News. Right back.
America's First News. Coast to coast with Matt Ray.
Can you believe, with all the recent violent protests, destruction? So,
what are we going to do for... 15 seconds, Adam.
USA won today.
And good Friday morning to you. It is Friday, June 14th. It is 15 minutes to the top of the hour, 6:45 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Forest Hill. Currently, it is 63 degrees where you're at right now. Looking for a high today. Very nice. 83 degrees out there. And speaking of Forest Hill, let's talk about a little bit of a hazardous waste drop-off. You got stuff around the house there that you need to get rid of? Well, let me tell you, this weekend and next weekend is the time to get rid of it. This weekend, Saturday, June 15th, that would be tomorrow, kids, at Colfax High School off of Ben Taylor Road, there is the hazardous waste drop-off. It's free, by the way, but here's a recommendation. We'll bring a little bit of a cash as a donation for them taking your stuff away there. Acceptable items includes, and it's maximum 15 gallons or 125 pounds per vehicle, cleaners, medications, sharps, batteries, pesticides, aerosol cans, compressed gas cylinders, fluorescent tubes. Ooh, I have some of those I need to get rid of. oil filters, paint, and auto fluids. I have some of that I need to get rid of as well. What you can't bring, don't even bother, don't even try. Unacceptable items are medical waste, other than sharps and medications, refrigerators, ammunition and explosives, gas cylinders larger than 5 gallons, radioactives or PCBs, tires, and electronic waste or computers. You can't bring that, but you can bring cleaners, medications, sharps, batteries, pesticides, aerosol cans, compressed gas cylinders, fluorescent tubes, oil filters, paint, and auto fluids this Saturday at Colfax High School in the parking lot there off of Ben Taylor Road. And next Saturday, if you missed this one or you're near Forest Hill High School, Saturday, June 22nd at 23319 Forest Hill Road. Need to be a Placer County resident, have to show ID. It's going to be from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you're a business, fees apply, and you must call 1-800-207-8222. Again, fees apply, and you must call 800-207-8222 for an appointment. Hazardous waste drop-off this weekend at Colfax High School, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Back with your KAHI News right after this.
And I'm thrilled to announce that I joined the KAHI radio team. Each week, issues like cholesterol, diabetes, women's health, children, more. And with all that's going on in Washington, we even touch on government in your health. The Dr. Dolly Show is also a live talk show that answers your questions on the air. Join me, Dr. Dolly, on Monday through Friday from 9 to noon here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the foothills.
And here's your KAHI News for this Friday, June 14th. I'm Chris Quant. Good paying jobs, changing industry needs. Topic of first ever workforce summit at Sierra College. This is from the Auburn Journal. An ever-changing economy, hard to fill jobs, new technologies, and preparing people to get good paying jobs are all topics of a first of its kind workforce summit being held at Sierra College in Rockland. The summit will be held June 18th and will bring together major employers in Placer County along with education providers to talk about how to best prepare people to meet the growing needs of employers, according to Sierra College President Willie Duncan. Quote, if you look at Placer County and our economy, we've got a growing economy. We've got technology that is really revolutionizing and changing what the work world looks like and the kinds of employers we have in our community, unquote, Duncan explained. Quote, and what that's created is some hard to fill jobs and new skills that individuals need in order to be successful in the workforce, unquote. A prime example, according to Duncan, is the semiconductor chip manufacturing company Bosch, which has come to Roseville. The company plans to invest some $1.5 billion to transform a Roseville facility into a state-of-the-art plant capable of producing and testing carbide semiconductors, which are a key building block for electric vehicles. Bosch will be employing a few thousand people who will need specialized training for these jobs. But it isn't just new companies that will have a high demand for workers with specialized training. Duncan says longtime local businesses have a growing need for workers with a wide range of skills and education. Quote, even existing companies in the area like healthcare, for example, Kaiser and Sutter and Dignity Health, and all of our healthcare providers that are in the area, they've got needs that need to be filled, unquote, Duncan explains. Quote, many of them have IT needs. Cybersecurity is a big issue there. So these are some of the growing needs and demands in the community, and how do we at Sierra College create programs that can meet that need, unquote. Input from this workforce summit may result in Sierra College creating new programs or modifying some of the programs they have, Duncan said. Keynote speakers will include Ben Cheetah, Senior Advisor to Governor Newsom, and Todd Trotter, Senior Vice President for Human Resources for Kaiser Permanente, one of the largest employers in the region. Some of the key sponsors of the event are the Auburn, Lincoln, Rockland, and Roseville Chambers of Commerce and Placer Business Alliance. Registration for the Sierra Workforce Summit is open at sierracollege.edu/SWS. There is no cost to attend, but seating is limited. For more information can be found at sierracollege.edu. Back with more news right after this. All right. So the 7 o'clock hour reading of that one's going to be the one.
They've got you covered with customized training programs, fitness classes, high
charges,
So
and
2
more.
pages is too
7 days
much.
a week with 24/7 access. Stop by CAC Fit at 2514 Road in the Crossroads Shopping Center. Call 530-885-1964 or online at cacfit.com.
Because KAHI cares. Here's another KAHI Community Bulletin Board. Placer Independent Resource Services needs volunteers to assist seniors and people with disabilities. As a peers volunteer, you will be installing items in homes to improve safety and access and help with fall prevention. Safety items may include grab bars, offset door hinges, threshold ramps, smoke detectors, and lever-style faucets and door handles, and so much more. Volunteers need to have basic construction or handyman skills. No work is done that requires going up a ladder or on a roof or under a building. To apply as a volunteer or obtain more information about the program, please call Don Wixon or Michelle Irwin at Peers, 530-885-6100. That's Don Wixon or Michelle Irwin at Placer Independent Resource Services, 530-885-6100.
Be sure to listen to the Garden Goddesses Saturday mornings at 8, right here on the Voice of the Foothills.
And this is Cindy from the Garden Goddesses. Thanks for being a loyal listener. And
Euro 2024 kicks off today, the 17th edition of the quadrennial football tournament.
Every Saturday morning.
Football soccer.
Right here on the Voice of the Foothills.
Continuing now with your KAHI news. From the Morning Brew, Euro 2024 kicks off today. The 17th edition of the quadrennial football tournament starts today when host country Germany faces Scotland in the first of 51 matches to determine European supremacy. Apart from the hosts, the favorites include England, France, Portugal, Spain, and defending champs Italy. The pressure is heavy on England, which has never won the Euros and hasn't won a major tournament since the 1966 World Cup. Ukraine, meanwhile, will be a likely fan favorite in the competition as the country defends itself from Russia's invasion. The month-long tournament could give a fleeting boost to Germany's economy. The country expects to sell 2.7 million tickets and earn $4 billion in additional tourism sales. And from the Morning Brew, here's what else is brewing. Wholesale prices unexpectedly fell 0.2% last month, further evidence that the U.S. is getting inflation under control after the encouraging consumer price index report released earlier this week. LinkedIn rolled out a slate of AI features, including AI-powered career coaches for premium members. Evan Gershkovich, the Wall Street Journal reporter wrongfully imprisoned, was accused of spying for the CIA in an evidence-free indictment. The computer servers for GameStop's annual shareholder meeting crashed yesterday due to overwhelming interest. And Elon Musk was sued by 8 former SpaceX employees for sexual harassment and retaliation, which Musk has denied. And finally, also from the Morning Brew, today's word of the day is quadrennial, meaning occurring every 4 years. And that's your KAHI news for this Friday, June 14th. I'm Chris Quant. On now to the California Ag Report.
Today, I'm Haley Ship. This is the Ag Information Network. China has banned meat exports from a California cold storage facility near the port of Oakland. After meat additive were found in beef shipments. The Food Safety and Inspection Service Chinese customs workers detected the feed additive that's banned by more than 100.
Okay, preset 6 minutes.
The website agriculturedive.com creating significant obstacles at an important trade gateway to Asia. The
Ooh, did I
suspension for those exports out of
erase 3 headlines in the line?
happened on May 27th. It's
No.
disrupted operations for meat exports as far away as the Midwest. Those export companies rely on this facility to transfer their freight from rail to ocean before it ships out of the Oakland port. China's suspension of this facility has caused disruption for beef, pork, and poultry exports, says Joe Sheely of the U.S. Meat Export Federation, adding that exporters must use other Bay Area facilities. From Michigan State University, ractopamine is a feed additive for pigs and beef cattle that has gotten a lot of attention over the last several years. It can be used by livestock producers to enhance or increase muscle mass and improve feed efficiency. While the FDA considers it safe, there is a zero tolerance policy in China and the European Union.
Central Coast growers know just how much damage aphids can do to leafy veg, coal, and brassica crops. But Versus insecticide from BASF makes all visible aphids disappear thanks to a unique, single, and targeted mode of action. Let's get the aphids' response to this simple, effective solution. Taking calls now to hear from those unhappy aphids. Hello? Anyone? Making aphids disappear from leafy vegetable, coal, or brassica crops is easy with Versus insecticide. Always read and follow label directions.
For over 40 years, the Ag Information Network has been providing news and information for the most important industry in the world, agriculture. The Ag Information
Oh,
Network
an idea for news and sports reads. Totally open to feedback. Learn how to read? Not stumble over, like, never been good at live reads. But
report on stories that mean the most to you. Online
open to
at
feedback.
aginfo.net, the Ag Information Network, trusted and transparent journalism.
I think just learning to read
With California Ag Today on the
and
Ag
pronounce
Information
things.
Network, I am Haley Ship.
I am Haley
Hi, I'm
Ship.
Martha Barnett.
And I'm Grant Barrett.
That's why I do better when I memorize stuff.
A weekly show about language.
We take your calls from anywhere in the country.
And from outside the country, too.
About anything and everything related to communication.
It's a show about speaking and writing and why we say the things we do.
It's also a show about history, family.
Also
and
a show about
culture.
history.
Satisfy your linguistic curiosity. Saturdays and Sundays at 7 p.m. on the Voice of the
Oh, really?
Locals, AM 950, KAHI.
I feel like it's a form of dyslexia. Like the words don't line up. But
That credit shouldn't stop you from getting a
maybe
new
not.
car. Visit AmnestyCredit.com.
Like words disappear, or that just might be nervousness of reading. I don't know.
With interest rates as low as 4.99%. Buy today, okay. To learn more, just go to AmnestyCredit.com and get credit approval in just seconds without impacting your credit score. That's AmnestyCredit.com. Stop the buy here, pay here cycle. Let us help you.
President Woodrow Wilson officially proclaimed this day as Flag Day. Pennsylvania became the first state of the United States to celebrate Flag Day officially as a state holiday. .com. Credit.com. 1949, the United States Congress made it even more official. Pennsylvania made it even more official by proclaiming today National Flag Day. Officially proclaimed this day as Flag Day. That's good. As a state holiday. The Pledge of Allegiance was written by a Christian socialist author. 30 seconds to the top of the hour. It is 6:59, gang. Almost there to the 7 o'clock hour. Coming up in the 7 o'clock hour, of course, we've got your daily dad jokes. Today is Flag Day, so we've got some Flag Day trivia for you as well. Also, 3 headlines and a lie. We forgot to do that yesterday. We had so much going on yesterday. We'll do our 3 headlines and a lie. 3 headlines are completely true. 1 of them is made up. And Mary Jane Pop will be joining me in the 8 o'clock hour. We got a full dance card. Pausing. Here we go. And good Friday morning to you. It is Friday, June 4th. Producer Adam, cut the music. That music was from the last hour. We got new music we got to play there. It is June 14th, and it is right smack dab at the top of the hour. There we go. Everything is right in my world again now that the music is there. You know how you're just used to, your brain is just used to hearing certain things at certain times. That's the rhythm. That's the cadence. I had a coworker. This is travel with me now before the pandemic when people worked in these places called offices, and even in more horrible, people worked in these places called cubicles. Did I show my hand there, Adam? Did I show my hand at how much I hated working in a cubicle? But we did that. It wasn't all bad. I worked with really good people. And actually, one of my coworkers, love this guy, great guy. And every afternoon at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I mean, you could set your watch by it. at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Todd is his name, he had a hand turned coffee grinder. So he would sit there and you would hear, it was 2 o'clock, you would hear the bag open, you would hear the beans pour into the coffee grinder, you would hear the bag close, you would hear the top go on, and you'd hear the grinding and the grinding and the grinding and the smell of coffee. Oh, it was lovely. There are coworkers that have annoying habits, or there's, let's be honest, annoying smell. This was one of the most delightful things I think I've ever experienced in an office. And it was, I thanked him every day. I was like, Todd, thank you for doing this. Just this wonderful, fresh ground coffee at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know how he did. I don't think it was decaf either. And he would just hand grind it there. And he told me, he said, there's something about having a routine, really nice about having a routine. And there's something nice about just having the physical motion that gets you out of, whether you need a break, whether your brain needs that mental rest. They say if you're looking at the screen for a long time, you need to look up and just stare off into the distance for a while, just to give your brain a reset, give your eyes a reset. And it was this actual manual physical thing that he benefited from. And by the way, I benefited from too. I'm like, oh, it's 2 o'clock. It's time for a break. I'm going to go over and talk to Todd and stop and smell the coffee here for a little bit. And then he would go up to the break room and pour himself a fresh cup of coffee. I always admired it. I always admire him for just taking time to take care of himself. And apparently the coworker around him who loved the smell of the coffee that he had. But thank you, Todd, for that. Now I'm at home. Now I just get to make my own coffee, which is absolutely fantastic. Hey, today is Flag Day. In case you didn't know, on this day in 1775, the Continental Army was established by the Continental Congress, marking the birth of the United States Army. I started watching Franklin on Apple TV Plus yesterday. We don't have stations anymore. Now we just have streaming services. Yeah, it used to be on Channel 3 or on Channel 13 or on Channel 10 or Channel 40 or 58 or 31. No, now it's a streaming service. I watched it on Prime. I watched it on Apple TV Plus. Anyway, Michael Douglas playing Benjamin Franklin, and we are deep into the Revolutionary War, and it's opening with him traveling over to France to see if he can get them to join in our cause to get free from the British. So I'm about 30 minutes into it. Very well shot so far. I'll keep you updated on how that's going, if it's worth a watch. On this day in 1900, Hawaii became a United States territory. On this day in 1949, Albert II, or Albert II, who was a monkey, rode a V-2 rocket to an altitude of 83 miles, thereby 83 miles up, thereby becoming the first monkey in space. That happened in 1949? We had V-2 rockets then? Really? Oh, wow. And on this day in 1954, President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed into law a bill into law that placed the words "under God" into the United States of the Pledge of Allegiance. Here, growing up as a kid, I thought that was had always been from, like, I'm pretty sure George Washington, in my mind, this is before history class, wrote the Pledge of Allegiance and put it exactly as no. Under God came in basically the same year my mom was born, in 1954. That's when Under God was officially placed into the United States Pledge of Allegiance. Some Flag Day trivia for you. Heads up here, the National Flag Conference called, this is in 1923, the National Flag Conference called for the words "My Flag" to be changed to "the flag of the United States." The reason given was to ensure that immigrants knew which flag reference was being made. The words "of America" were added in 1924. The United States Congress officially recognized the pledge as the official national pledge on December 28, 1945. In 1916, let's go back a little bit further there, President Woodrow Wilson officially proclaimed this day as Flag Day. And in 1937, Pennsylvania became the first state in the United States to celebrate Flag Day officially as a state holiday. But then we go to 14. Get the numbers right there, Chris. 1949, the United States Congress made it even more official by proclaiming today National Flag Day. So yeah, some interesting Flag Day trivia. Now we also have some flag jokes here. We'll save that for a little bit later on in this hour when we have our daily dad jokes there. But in honor of Flag Day, there's some flag jokes. I told this one at the top of last hour. I'll do it again. Hey, what did one flag say to the other flag? Producer Adam, get the rim shot ready. What did one flag say to the other flag? Nothing. It just waved. There we go. All right. There's a little taste of what's to come here. But as we're getting ready, as we're getting started on this day, we need to find out what our weather is looking like. Don't worry, Tim. I haven't forgotten about you. Meteorologist Tim Root. Hey, Timmy, what's our weather looking like out there?
The forecast is calling for mostly sunny skies. It'll be in the mid to upper 80s today, and looks like a southwest wind about 10 miles per hour. Mostly clear overnight around 55. The dry, sunny weather will continue Saturday and Sunday. And with that spring sunshine, it should be in the mid-80s each afternoon. Summer doesn't arrive until Thursday, June 20th. We'll keep you updated. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
The state of California has millions of regulations,
But surprisingly,
almost nothing when it comes to the technical knowledge required of a heating and air technician.
That means they can send a salesman to your home that looks like a true technician but knows next to nothing when servicing your heating and air system. His only focus is to sell you a new one. That'll never happen with Big Mountain's 2-for-1 rejuvenation of your heating and air system. With our 2 to 3 hour truly comprehensive 2-part service of both your furnace and your air conditioner with a written guarantee against breakdown, or the service will be free all year long. Total cost $78 or save $2,500 on a brand new heating and air system plus an additional $500 rebate. Replace your old R22 system. Details at 916-378-6270 or BigMountainAir.com.
This is Stephen Hill.
This is Stephen
Instruments of Space. Sunday nights at 8, here on the all-new FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI. The same voice of the foothills, more powerful than ever.
Well, there we go. Let's make sure we got the right. There we bring up the right channel there. Hey, good morning to you. It's a crazy Friday here. I'm trying to get to, apparently my brain is ready for the weekend already. 8 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:08 a.m. Hey, if it is your birthday today, happy birthday to you. I hope you are having a fantastic day so far. It's early yet. There's a lot to go, so get ready for even more goodness. Let's look at that glass half full, people. It is going to get better from here. If you have a birthday today, you share it with Harriet Beecher Stowe, American author and activist. She passed away in 1896, but was born on this day in 1811. All right, classroom, which book did she write? That's right, Uncle Tom's Cabin. Alois Alzheimer, German psychiatrist and neuropathologist. I'm guessing that's where we got Alzheimer's disease. Passed away in 1915, but was born on this day in 1864. Che Guevara, Argentinian Cuban guerrilla leader, born on this day in 1928, passed away in 1967. Donald Trump. Do I need to list what he's done? You probably have heard of him. Born on this day in 1946. Boy George, English singer-songwriter, born on this day in 1961. And Steffi Graf, German tennis player, born on this day in 1969. So yeah, if you're looking like, hey, I always look for this on my birthday. What famous people were born on my birthday? Well, there you go. There's a few for you as you're getting ready to start your day. Beatles are singing happy birthday to you as well as we're getting started for the day. Hey, we're going to take a little bit of a break. When we come back, I was talking about working in an office. And that's still a thing. There are still people that work out in an office, but a lot since the pandemic, it's fast forwarded the move to more remote work, telework, whatever you want to name it. And I did not know. Honestly, before I read this, I did not know that there are devices that exist that can actually mimic that you're online, that you're working on your computer. What the heck is all that? We'll find all of that out here in just a little bit. Back with more right after this.
my son Jared, but the world knew him as recording artist Juice WRLD. He released 4 studio albums, 9 EPs, 2 mixtapes, 35 singles, and is one of the most streamed artists ever. What the world didn't fully understand was the depth of his struggle with addiction and mental health. At the height of his fame, we lost him to an accidental drug overdose.
What is Rube Goldberg?
I 999 to remove the stigma and normalize conversations around mental health and substance abuse. I want to ensure that no other parent or loved one faces what I faced.
Go to livefree999.org to find resources and learn more. If you or someone you know need urgent support, text LF999 to 741741.
Camera pulls back. Crunch! The Titanic hits an iceberg.
Excuse me.
In slow motion, we see the Titanic sinking. People screaming.
Excuse me. What does the sinking of the Titanic have to do with advertising my party supply store?
Here we go. Don't in despair. Everything you need for a great party, you'll find at Wally's Party.
Look, I'm going with radio instead. I met with a local station of members of the RAB, the Radio Advertising Bureau, with access to research, marketing expertise.
Stop. I have the 3 tenors singing "Row, row, row your boat" in Italian while clinging to the side of the ship.
And with the radio station and the RAB, I can find out who buys party supplies, when they buy, how much they spend. Everything will get by.
Only that's it.
What?
No. Okay. For a rocket launches into space, super for a party.
Please don't take this personally.
Radio, up close, personal. Call the station. We can partner with you to deliver advertising that gets for
12 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:12 a.m. Now, before we went to the break there, just for a little bit, we were talking about apparently there are machines that can, or devices that can make it look like your computer you're working online when actually you might be hitting the snooze button or sleeping in. This is from the Morning Brew, that Rube Goldberg-esque machine that you built. I had to look that up real quick. What is that? It's a Rube Goldberg machine using a chain reaction of simple machines like levers, pulleys, and cranks, and household objects such as strings, books, and tables, basically to move something along. You know, like that marble along a track that then nudges a pendulum that swings into your computer's mouse to make it look like it's moving while you're still lying in bed. Well, if you've got something like that, it could potentially get you fired, especially if you work at Wells Fargo. This is from the Morning Brew. The banking giant dismissed more than a dozen employees for allegedly, quote, creating the impression of active work, unquote, via fake keyboard activity, according to a regulatory filing reported by Bloomberg. Devices that trick your bosses into thinking that you're actually reading their emails cost about $20 on Amazon, but that does not factor in the potential price of unemployment. And I went and I looked it up, and sure enough, you go on Amazon, it's called Undetectable Mouse Mover Jiggler with on-off switch and USB port drive free. So basically simulates physical automatically mouse movement, prevent computer laptop interactivity or lockdown. So, okay, I get the idea behind it. Like, it keeps my computer from going to sleep or locking when I don't need it to. But yeah, you can also get one for $17. Kids, don't. Crime doesn't pay. Don't steal from your employer. Don't do time theft. But there are things as little as $15 you can get these things. I didn't even know these things existed. And but apparently it'll just jiggle your mouse and keep your computer so it looks like you're online, that you're staying online in this work on. Yeah, don't time steal from your employer. If you're going to take a break, just tell them you need a break. That's probably going to be a lot better for you. Hey, it is 15 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's do like we do at this time of the day. Turn it over now to the Fox Business Report.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report. Stock futures are under pressure after the NASDAQ and S&P 500 closed at records on Thursday. Both indexes have closed at records for the last 4 sessions, even though the Federal Reserve signaled this week it wasn't in a hurry to cut interest rates despite cooling inflation. Jeep's parent company Stellantis is shifting some electric vehicle production out of China because of European Union tariffs on Chinese EVs. Stellantis is producing cars in China with a local partner, Leaf Motor. More than a dozen Wells Fargo staffers have been fired for allegedly faking keyboard movements using devices to make it seem
Hey, I just
they
said
were
that.
working. MarketWatch says several of the employees were working in hybrid and remote jobs. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jim Cosola, invested in you.
Hi, I'm Ron Kraszewski, Chairman and CEO of Stifel. Financial advisors, let's face it, if you're not growing your practice, you're losing market share. Stifel is a growing, advisor-centric firm built for successful advisors like you. There's a reason why last year. Come join us and find out why Stifel for success beats success. Visit www.stifel.com.
Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIP.
Hey there, KAHI listeners. Producer Adam here to remind you to listen to Chris in the morning, along with
Matt Ray and America's First News.
Get all the local news, weather, traffic, and local events you can handle, plus a healthy dose of daily dad jokes. Chris in the morning with Matt Ray, 6 to 9 a.m. here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the foothills.
I never miss it, and neither should you. My goodness, it's early. 16 minutes past the top of the hour. 17 minutes, actually. 17 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:17 a.m. Hey, there's lots going on. It is the weekend. There's a few things going on tonight, especially if you're in the Auburn area. We've got Auburn Cruise Night tonight. Yep, all up and down Lincoln there. All the cars are going to be out there, all the old cars and maybe some new ones, but mostly old cars are up there. It is super fun. Me and the boys went to it last month it was out there. We had a great time showing the kiddos all the classics out there. Go check them out. Also, speaking of the kiddos, tonight there's going to be a family swim and movie night. That's going to be from 6 to 8 p.m. So maybe go see the cars first and then go swim for a little bit and watch a movie. It's going to be a full night. The kids will sleep in tomorrow. Have a cool evening with family pool parties. Everybody swims for free from 6 to 8 p.m. This is at Auburn Rec Park at 123 Recreation Drive. After swimming, enjoy a free movie in the park, which begins at about 8:45 p.m. Bring a blanket or a chair and enjoy free popcorn along with the movie. It's going to be an animated movie from the Illumination Studio. You know, the ones that do Despicable Me. It's going to be a great thing. I think it's the movie about the ducks. Anyway, you can find out more at auburnrec.com/events. That's auburnrec.com/events. Back with more right after this.
On Highway 80 in Newcastle. With the new year, it's time to spray the weeds, lay down the fertilizer, and soon time to plant the pastures. Fix or replace the fence.
I gotta pay attention a lot more when I decide to do my own thing and just take it out of the automation. It's way more fun though. All right, what's coming up next? Oh, Daily Dad Jokes coming up.
The Big Red Barn on Highway 80 in Newcastle. Come see us for all your critter and farming and ranching needs.
19 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:19 a.m. Coming up next at the bottom of the hour, Daily Dad Jokes. That's right, make you laugh, sigh, roll your eyes. I'll see you here in just a little bit. I had a few more seconds. Okay, we got some flag dad jokes. Let's see.
They hailed as a milestone.
What did King George think of the American colonists? He thought they were revolting. You'll be back. Time will tell. You'll remember that I served you well. Teacher, where was the Declaration of Independence signed? Student, on the bottom. Which son of old Virginia wrote the Declaration of Independence? Student, I think it was Thomas Jeffers' son. Ew! What's the difference between a duck and George Washington? One has a bill on his face, the other one has his face on a bill. Ah, these are good. I love it. And we've got Father's Day jokes.
The unity of the United States together with the European leaders. How these or those elections will influence this unity.
Father's Day
It seems to me that we should look on this exactly this way, to preserve unity, to preserve...
What do you call a person who is not a dad who makes dad jokes? A faux pas. What did the cheerleader bring her dad for breakfast on Father's Day? Cheerios. What's the best thing a new dad can get on Father's Day? A long nap. Oh, that's the truth.
The U.S. and European countries also agreed to keep sanctioned Russian assets locked up until.
Where did the family cow go on Father's Day? To the movies. What do the children give their dad for sweater on Father's Day? What do nice pirates do on Father's Day? They take out the garbage without being asked.
Support Ukraine show that Putin cannot wait us out and divide us. Since Russia's full-fledged
What did the puppies make their dad on for Father's Day breakfast? Poached eggs.
Routinely met as part of the Ukraine Defense Contact Group run by the Pentagon to
That's
turn
pretty
on
good.
weapons and ammunition for Kyiv. A fresh meeting was held at NATO headquarters Thursday. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin touted Ukraine's defense against Russia's invasion.
Okay, so we're going to do those.
Since Putin launched his
And we're going to do these. The 4th of July weekend was approaching. The 4th of July.
Ukraine's defenders have inflicted staggering losses. on
Yeah,
the
so we'll
Russian
do all of
on the Russian
these.
invaders. Since Putin's full-scale invasion in February 2022,
And we'll do
at least 350,000
Linda's joke.
Russian troops have been killed or wounded.
That joke.
Ukrainian
Linda.
forces have sunk, destroyed, or damaged 24 Russian vessels.
What should you do if you get rejected from a job with a sunscreen company? Reapply.
Just before the Kremlin began its renewed offensive,
All right, there we go.
Russia has lost more than 2,600
Okay.
combat vehicles across the front lines in Ukraine.
Oh, we need to get the Auburn Quail Trail.
West of Avdiivka, they lost more than
Line.
160 combat vehicles there in May alone. So that's just another reminder of the price that Russia has paid for Putin's imperial ambitions. And it's another reminder of Ukraine's determination.
Canadian
The
Defense Minister Bill Blair said that his
Auburn
country would send Ukraine 2,300 rocket
Quail
mortars and that 80,000 more devices are being tested. The meeting is the last high-level talks before a summit hosted by President Joe Biden in Washington on July 9th. That's where NATO leaders are expected to announce financial support for Ukraine. A U.S. Navy submarine has arrived in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, in a show of force as Russian warships gather for planned military exercises in the Caribbean. U.S. Southern Command said the USS Helena, a nuclear-powered fast attack sub, pulled into the waters near the base in Cuba Thursday, just a day after a Russian frigate, a nuclear-powered sub, an oil tanker, and a rescue tug crossed into Havana Bay after drills in the Atlantic Ocean. The stop is part of a routine port visit as the submarine travels through the Southern Command's region, according to a social media post. Pentagon Deputy Spokesperson Sabrina Singh.
And how seriously are you taking the arrival of this Russian flotilla in Havana and the exercises being taking place in the Caribbean?
So we've been tracking the Russians' plans for this. This is not a surprise. We've seen them do these type of port calls before, and these are routine naval visits that we've seen under different administrations. We're always constantly going to monitor any foreign vessels operating near U.S. territorial waters. We, of course, take it seriously, but these exercises don't pose a threat to the United States.
The timing of it happening now with what's happening in Ukraine, with President Biden taking off for the G7 in Italy, meeting with world leaders and not Vladimir Putin, is this seen as some sort of muscle flexing on the side of Russia?
I'd refer you to the Russians to speak to their own operations and exercises. It certainly wouldn't come up as a surprise to us if we see more activity around the United States. And, they do have a global exercise that will, I think, likely culminate this fall. It's something that we're going to continue to monitor. Again, I think what's important here is that what Russia is doing in these exercises, they don't pose a threat to the United States, but of course, we're going to continue to monitor.
Russian ships have occasionally docked in Havana since 2008 when a group of Russian vessels entered Cuban waters in what state media described as the first such visit in almost 20 years. In 2015, a reconnaissance and communication ship arrived unannounced in Havana, the day before the start of discussions between U.S. and Cuban officials on the reopening of diplomatic relations. The leaders are speaking out, condemning a protest outside of an exhibit commemorating the victims of the Hamas terror attack on the Nova Music Festival on October 7th that sparked the current Israel-Hamas war. On Monday night, pro-Palestinian demonstrators lit smoke canisters and flares outside the Nova Music Festival exhibition in Lower Manhattan, which pays tribute to the victims of the terror attack.
Outside an exhibit in Lower Manhattan commemorating those massacred at the Nova Music Festival on October 7th. Protesters waved Hezbollah, Hamas flags. At other protests, They carried banners reading, "Long live October 7th." And one person even yelled, he wishes, a quote, Hitler was still here. He would have wiped all of you out. These are reprehensible and foul comments. I and every New Yorker who stands for peace stand united against them. I always speak up for what's right, and what we saw last night was wrong.
The victims' families say they are struggling to process the public support for terrorists who killed their loved ones. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis reacted angrily Thursday to a federal judge's decision this week that struck down a 2023 Florida law that blocked gender-affirming care for transgender minors and severely restricted such treatment for adults, calling the statute unconstitutional. The governor did not cite a legal reason for appealing the decision, but said he's confident it will be successful.
It is wrong to perform a sex change on a 16-year-old. You're not allowed to get a tattoo, but somehow you can have your privates cut off. Give me a break. This is wrong. Founding fathers were creating the Constitution when the first Congress passed the Bill of Rights, or even when they passed the Reconstruction Amendments in the 1860s. Do you think a single person involved in that thought that there was a constitutional right to do this genital mutilation?
Critics note the founding fathers did include the right to privacy, and DeSantis is interfering with parental rights. Gender-affirming care for minors diagnosed with gender dysphoria is supported by all major U.S. medical and mental health associations. Senior Judge Robert Hinkle also stopped the state from requiring that transgender adults only receive treatment from a doctor and not from a registered nurse or other qualified medical practitioner. And he barred a ban on online treatment for transgender adults. Reach out to me anytime across the board on social media at Matt Ray Talk. You're listening to America's First News. Good morning.
Breaking news first. America's First News, coast to coast with Matt Ray.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton, like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40.
This is an urgent announcement for anyone that's $10,000 or more in debt. Before you make another minimum payment, you need to know there are special programs that can completely free you of your debt. Total Financial Freedom can help you become debt-free in months instead of years. Resolve your credit card debt, signature loans, department store cards, internet loans, and timeshares. Call Total Financial Freedom now at 800-878-6020 for a free consultation. For 16 years, Total Financial Freedom has helped thousands get out of debt. You can feel confident when calling because Total Financial Freedom is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Battling for years and years, stuck in the endless cycle of minimum payments could take decades. You have the right to get your debt resolved and substantially reduce your monthly payments. Total Financial Freedom now at 800-878-6020. 800-878-6020. 800
3 seconds, Adam.
020.
And good Friday morning to you. It is Friday, June 14th. It is 30 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:30 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Lake of the Pines. Currently, it is 65 degrees where you're at right now, looking for a high today of 87 degrees. All right, it is that time. It is time for your daily dad jokes. That's right, make you laugh, sigh, probably roll your eyes. You can do what Linda did. You can send me yours live at KAHI.com, LIVE at KAHI.com. That's open 24/7, by the way. You can send it anytime. If you're awake at 3 a.m. like I was this morning, and you're like, man, I got a great dad joke that I just thought of that I want to send Chris, anytime. Do it anytime. You can also call 530-885-3565. You cannot do that anytime because I will not be here 24/7, but you can do it while I'm here at the show. From Linda, here we go. What should you do if you get rejected from a job with a sunscreen company? Reapply. Linda, that was a good one. That was a good one. All right, we've got some Father's Day jokes coming up here. Father's Day is on Sunday, by the way. Reminder, time to get dad some new underwear, probably. What do you call a person who's not a dad who makes dad jokes? A faux pas. Oh, that one got applause. Oh, that was a nice use of the word faux pas. All right, keep it going here. What did the cheerleader bring her dad for breakfast on Father's Day? Cheerios. There we go. What's the best thing a new dad can get for Father's Day? A long nap. How about an old dad, too? A long nap would work. There we go. All right. And finally, it's Flag Day. We've got some Flag Day related jokes. Here we go. What did King George think of the American colonists? He thought they were revolting. Kind of mumbled that. He thought they were revolting. There we go. Teacher, where was the Declaration of Independence signed? Student, on the bottom. That's pretty good. Okay. Which son of old Virginia wrote the Declaration of Independence? Student, I think it was Thomas Jefferson. Oh, that got a groan. Holy cow. All right, how about this one? Let's finish it off with this. What's the difference between a duck and George Washington? One has a bill on its face and the other has his face on a bill. Ayo! And those are your daily dad jokes for this Friday, June 14th. Back with more right after this.
I love California. I love the mountains. I love
Hey! Oh! Hey!
Join me every Saturday at 8 p.m. for Rewind, featuring the stars you grew up with. Oh, by the way, my name is Jimmy J. We've been doing this for a long time. If you haven't heard the show yet, check it out. This Saturday, 8 p.m., Rewind on the Voice of the Foothills, AM 950, KAHI.
Friday weather forecast is calling for mostly sunny skies. Looking in the mid to upper 80s today. It looks like the southwest wind about 10 miles per hour. Mostly clear overnight around 55. The dry, sunny weather will continue Saturday and Sunday. And with that spring sunshine, it should be in the mid-80s each afternoon. Summer doesn't arrive until Thursday, June 20th. We'll keep you updated.
Thanks, Tim.
Meteorologist Timber from 4.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
33 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:33 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, we're going to have your KAHI News. Also, 3 headlines and a lie. We forgot to do that yesterday. And by we, I mean me. Forgot to do that yesterday. So together, we're going to play it. 3 headlines and a lie. 3 headlines are absolutely true. 1 is completely made up. We'll see if we can guess which one it is. And Mary Jane Pop is going to join me in the 8 o'clock hour. We get to have our weekly talk. Always look forward to talking to Mary Jane, seeing what's coming up on her show this weekend. Off now to America's First News. I'll see you back here in just a little bit. There we go.
34 minutes past.
Takes a while to get the timing, but
Here to bring food to Gaza is facing one of its most serious challenges yet.
okay there. Okay. Oh gosh. Oh boy. Oh boy there. Gosh. Golly.
Has paused its work with the pier.
Let's do the Nevada County. Do the Father's Day Festival.
Accept the Palestinians. And sweltering temperatures, Muslim pilgrims in Mecca converged on a vast tent camp in the desert on Friday, officially opening the annual Hajj pilgrimage. Ahead of the trip, they circled the Grand Mosque. More than 1.5 million pilgrims.
Meet me at the creek. Too slow. Mountain Blues. That's like the Darlings coming in from the hills on the Andy Griffith Show. Or the Beverly Hillbillies.
Is expected today. The disorganized storm system was pushing across the state from the Gulf of Mexico at roughly the same time as the early June start of hurricane season, which this year is forecast to be
4-day camping takes
in recent memory. The downpours hit Tuesday and continued into Wednesday, delaying flights at two of the state's largest airports, and vehicles waterlogged installed in some of the lowest lying street. U.S. journalist Evan Gershkovich, who has been jailed for over a year in Russia on espionage charges, will stand at trial.
I need to leave a friend of mine a voicemail.
Wall Street Journal reporter has been finalized and his case was filed. There was no word on when the trial would begin. Gershkovich was detained while on a reporting trip in March of 2023 accused of spying for the United States.
That's FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI, voice of the foothills. That's the sign off. Please get it right next time. Otherwise, don't even try. No, I'm kidding. Hey, I appreciate the voicemail and the encouragement, man. That meant a lot. And yeah, it's great. Good news is we just may get the pipes worked on some today, this afternoon. My brother-in-law said, "Hey, are you free?" And I said, "I will find a way. Life will find a way." So anyway, so we might make some progress there. So yeah, so good news there. Also, by the way, I do have a car, so I don't need you. I don't need you to come and pick me up. So I appreciate that. Also, can I just say, happy 9 years, risk-aversary. I know, it's in Slack already. If it's not in Slack, it's not official. It's Slack official. But give yourself a hand. Let me throw some encouragement your way, Mr. Nick Harding. 9 years. That is no small feat. Just think how much more hair you had 9 years ago. Sorry, I couldn't resist. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
President Joe Biden said Thursday he won't use his presidential powers to lessen the eventual sentence that his son Hunter Biden will get for his federal felony conviction on gun crimes. Biden following the conclusion of a news conference held at the group on the world's
also my boss's boss.
So, plans to commute the sentence for his son.
Is that how I talk to the SVP of my department? Yes.
He has overcome an addiction. He's one of the great.
That is how we do that.
And I am satisfied that I'm not going to do anything. I said I abide by the jury decision. I will do that, and will not pardon him.
Hunter Biden's sentencing date hasn't been set, and the 3 counts carry up to 25 years, though that is unlikely as a first-time offender. Now, crews scheduled today to begin tearing down the 3-story classroom building where 17 people died in the 2018 mass shooting at Parkland's Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. The victims' families have been invited to watch the first blows and hammer off a piece themselves if they choose. Officials will complete the weeks-long project before the school's 3,300 students return in August from summer vacation. Most were in elementary school when the shooting happened. The building had been kept intact to serve as evidence in the shooter's 2022 penalty trial. Jurors toured the crime scene but spared the shooter the death penalty. Turning to sports this morning, and Captain Alexander Barkov set up a goal and scored another. Sergei Bobrovsky made some of the biggest of his 32 saves to thwart a comeback bid, and the Panthers held on to beat the Edmonton Oilers 4-3 in Game 3 of the Cup final Thursday night. Florida took another step toward hockey's mountaintop by pouncing on a handful of Edmonton turnovers and keeping Connor McDavid from scoring a goal. They can win the first title in franchise history as soon as Game 4 on Saturday night in Edmonton. And the Boston Celtics can win an 18th championship tonight as they have a 3-0 lead in the NBA Finals, a lead that's never been wasted in any NBA series. Their first title in 16 years is just 1 win away, and Celtics star Jason Tatum says his team is ready after coming up short in recent years.
I think from our experiences over the past couple of years, the thing that we really have gotten a lot better at is not relaxing. Not being complacent, from game to game or series to series, we always want more. Maybe in recent years we were took things for granted at some points, or we're happy to make it to certain rounds where we're not satisfied. That even now 3-0, nobody is celebrating or anything. We still feel like it's a lot more that we can do. It's a lot more that we want to do. So from that standpoint, just not being complacent and everybody just wanting more and being true to that.
Dallas came close to coming back in Game 3 until Luka Doncic fouled out after criticizing calls all night and losing his cool. He told ESPN's Malika Andrews he apologized to his teammates.
Yeah, it was tough. Probably wasn't the smartest thing. But just, it was a physical game. To get 6 fouls, I didn't expect it.
You're the ultimate competitor. I'm sure you wanted to be out on the floor. How did it feel?
Okay, who are we going to shout out for weather-wise? Weather-wise, I'm sure it's fascinating to watch somebody just looking at their phone. Newcastle or Placerville.
So Kyrie said after the game, what did you say to Luka? And he said at this point, you just kind of have to give him a hug and tell him it's okay. But did you feel like you let your team down?
Yeah, of course. I mean, like I said, it wasn't the smartest thing to do, especially in this situation. It's the finals. You got to give everything. A little tie out there. But yeah, Kyrie's been great for me. Just having him on here.
So what did you say to your teammates afterwards?
It's my bad. Can't do that, especially in the NBA finals.
The only way for the Celtics to lose this series is if they lose the next 4 games. And UConn's men's basketball coach Dan Hurley addressed the media for the first time since turning down a 6-year, $70 million offer to coach the LA Lakers. Hurley told reporters Thursday he had considered the opportunity to try and lead UConn to a 3rd consecutive national title or the chance to become the coach of one of the NBA's most storied franchises. And he asked himself one question: where do you belong?
Everybody has a dollar. And what is that? I mean, it's like, I don't know what that looks like. I couldn't imagine what the number was. But I'm sure every human being has a number that they wouldn't. But that was a big number. Considering places that I've coached a lot less for a lot less than that. The part that sucked was that I wished it would have been a worse opportunity. Right? Like, it was the Lakers, man. It's like you just wish it wasn't that unbelievable of an opportunity, because that's the only type of thing it would have taken, for me to have any consideration of leaving a place like this.
Hurley denied his flirtation with the Lakers was used as leverage to get more money from UConn. The Lakers fired Darvin Ham after he went 90-74 in 2 seasons, leading to the pursuit of Hurley. LA has yet to name a coach. And Garrett Crockett struck out a career-high 13 over 7 dominant innings. Andrew Vaughn homered and drove in the tie-breaking run in the 10th, and the Chicago White Sox knocked off the Mariners 3-2. More on the way on this Friday morning. We are just getting started. Grab the coffee. Let's go. You're listening to America's First News.
Breaking news first. America's First News, coast to coast with Matt Ray.
In 2024, the American Heart Association celebrates 100 years of life-saving service as the world's leading nonprofit organization focused on heart and brain health. Heart disease still kills more people in the United States each year than all types of cancer combined, but more than half of Americans are unaware of this fact, according to a recent Harris Poll survey conducted for the American Heart Association. However, the majority of heart disease is preventable. New research has improved the prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of heart disease.
30 seconds, Adam.
Factors. Efforts led by the American Heart Association have reduced deaths from heart disease by half over the past century and helped people with heart disease live longer and more productive lives while managing their condition and risk factors. To learn more about the American Heart Association's century of service and how you can help, visit heart.org/centennial.
We are the entertainment you love. Your day. We are your lifeline. We are your companion. We are broadcasters.
And good Friday morning to you. It is Friday, June 14th. It is 15 minutes to the top of the hour, 7:45 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Grass Valley. Currently 67 degrees where you're at right now, looking for a high today of 83 degrees. And that's probably going to be important to some folks that are out there at the Father's Day Bluegrass Festival happening right now. There's still time. I'm sure there's still time to go out there. It's happening at the Nevada County Fairgrounds. It started yesterday, going all the way through the 16th. It is the Father's Day Bluegrass Festival happening right now. It's 4 days of camping. It's a camping festival taking place, again, started yesterday, going through the 16th. And it's presenting top national, regional, and local bluegrass artists in the beautiful Sierra foothills here at the Nevada County Fairgrounds in Grass Valley, forging a community of music lovers who enjoy free workshops, jam sessions, square dancing, youth programs, and other unique offerings. Again, it is happening through the 16th. It's a camping thing, so you could stay overnight if you want to. You can find out more at fathersdayfestival.com. fathersdayfestival.com. Again, it's at the Nevada County Fairgrounds, beautiful fairgrounds in Grass Valley, California. There's going to be 3 stages of music. There's going to be midnight shows. Yeah, because everybody's camping, so why the heck not? Why can't you play at midnight? Hopefully it doesn't get too rowdy there. That'll be fine. It's the Father's Day Bluegrass Music Festival happening right now. You can find out more at fathersdayfestival.com. I kind of think of the Darlings. You remember the Darlings in the Andy Griffith show when they came down in their car there into town and always playing that bluegrass music. And Andy would do a little singing and a little picking with them as they sang and played their guitars. All right, back with more. Your KAHI News right after this. We're going to do a little singing and a picking. Do. A radio star. And here's your KAHI News for this Friday, June 14th. I'm Chris Quant. Good paying jobs, changing industry needs, topics of first ever workforce summit at Sierra College. This is from the Auburn Journal. An ever-changing economy, hard to fill jobs, new technologies, and preparing people to get good paying jobs are all the topics of a first of its kind workforce summit being held at Sierra College in Rockland. The summit will be held June 18th and will bring together major employers in Placer County along with education providers to talk about how to best prepare people to meet the growing needs of employers, according to Sierra College President Willie Duncan. Quote, if you look at Placer County and our economy, we've got a growing economy. We've got technology that is really revolutionizing and changing what the work world looks like and the kinds of employers we have in our community, unquote, Duncan explained. Quote, and what that's created is some hard to fill jobs and new skills that individuals need in order to be successful in the workforce, unquote. A prime example, according to Duncan, is the semiconductor chip manufacturing company Bosch, which has come to Roseville. The company plans to invest some $1.5 billion to transform a Roseville facility into a state-of-the-art plant capable of producing and testing carbide semiconductors, which are a key building block for electric vehicles. Bosch will be employing a few thousand people who will need specialized training for those jobs. But it isn't just new companies that will have a high demand for workers with specialized training. Duncan says longtime local businesses have a growing need for workers with a wide range of skills and education. Input from this workforce summit may result in Sierra College creating new programs or modifying some of the programs they have, Duncan said. Keynote speakers will include Ben Cheetah, Senior Advisor to Governor Newsom, and Todd Trotter, Senior VP for Human Resources for Kaiser Permanente, one of the largest employers in the region. Some of the key sponsors of the event are the Auburn, Lincoln, Rockland, and Roseville Chambers of Commerce and Placer Business Alliance. Registration for the Sierra Workforce Summit is open at sierracollege.edu/SWS. There is no cost to attend, but seating is limited. For more information, you can find that at sierracollege.edu. Back with more news right after this.
Vince Harris for Homeland Insurance, here to say you are only as good as the people you work with. At Homeland Insurance, we represent and work with 5-star agents
Gotta go to the bathroom!
that are the best at what they do. Whether it's general liability for your business or getting a better rate on workers' compensation, at Homer, we will find you the very best policy.
Actually, I'm going to wait.
Save
I feel like I have enough time.
money is what we do every day. What better time to save money on your insurance than right now? We saved a beauty salon $2,200. We saved a general contractor.
Although I probably could have made it.
$700, and we saved a private school $75,000. No matter what you do, 916-339-7070 and let Homer Insurance do the work for you. It takes one quick call to 916-339-7070, and in minutes you'll see what Homer can do for you. Call right now.
.com.
That credit shouldn't stop you from getting a new car. Visit AmnestyCredit.com, where a 550 credit score plus $550 a week in income equals a brand new car, with interest rates as low as 4.99%. I-10, okay. To learn more, just go to AmnestyCredit.com and get credit approval in just seconds. That's impacting your credit score. That's AmnestyCredit.com. Stop the buy here, pay here cycle. Let us help you deal with your credit. The pros at AmnestyCredit.com are credit experts. So fill out a credit app today without impacting your credit score. Only at
AmnestyCredit.com. AmnestyCredit.com. Continuing now with your KAHI News from the Morning Brew. Euro 2024 kicks off today. The 17th edition of the quadrennial football soccer tournament starts today when host country Germany faces Scotland in the first of 51 matches to determine European supremacy. Apart from the hosts, the favorites include England, France, Portugal, Spain, and defending champs Italy. The pressure is heavy on England, which has never won the Euros and hasn't won a major tournament since the 1966 World Cup. Ukraine, meanwhile, will likely be a fan favorite in the competition as the country defends itself from Russia's invasion. The month-long tournament could give a fleeting boost to Germany's economy. The country expects to sell 2.7 million tickets and earn $4 billion in additional tourism sales. And Disney and DeSantis settled their beef. Our long national nightmare is over. Disney and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis seemingly ended the feud that started 2 years ago over the state's controversial Don't Say Gay bill. The 5 members of the board that governs the land of Disney World, whom DeSantis appointed as part of his anti-woke crusade against the company, voted to approve a 15-year, $17 billion development deal to expand the Orlando resort. As part of the deal, Disney agreed to give at least half of its construction projects to Florida-based companies and donate up to 100 acres for infrastructure improvements. In March, the two parties agreed to stop suing each other. And from the Morning Brew, here's what else is brewing. Wholesale prices unexpectedly fell 0.2% last month, further evidence that the U.S. is getting inflation under control after the encouraging Consumer Price Index report released earlier this week. LinkedIn rolled out a slate of AI features, including AI-powered career coaches for premium members. Evan Gershkovich, the Wall Street Journal reporter wrongfully imprisoned in Russia, was accused of spying for the CIA in an evidence-free indictment. The computer servers for GameStop's annual shareholder meeting crashed yesterday due to overwhelming interest. And Elon Musk was sued by 8 former SpaceX employees for sexual harassment and retaliation, which Musk has denied. And finally, also from the Morning Brew, today's word of the day is quadrennial, meaning, you probably guessed it, occurring every 4 years. And that's your KAHI News for this Friday, June 14th. I'm Chris Quant. Back with more after this.
Owner of ABT Plumbing, Electric, Heat, and Air. ABT
There we go. That's the stuff. That'll do.
Best plumbing company and best heating and cooling company in Auburn Journal's Best of Auburn promotion. We're very proud to
How much time do I
have runner-up in electrical category as well. Our technicians are experienced and friendly. If you have an issue with
I have
plumbing, need a whole house generator,
2 minutes.
or maybe your furnace isn't working, give ABT a call. Reach us at 530-230-9004 for excellent service. It really is as easy as ABT.
Hi, this is Dr. Dahlia. Join me for my live call-in medical talk show that answers your questions right here on KAHI. On my show, cholesterol, diabetes, women's health,
I took out an extra talk
pediatrics, relationships, and more. And with
Oh,
all
well.
that's going on in Washington, we even touch on government and policies.
Forgot I was doing 3 headlines and a lie.
Can you transform your life by transforming your frequency? What's the frequency? Well, play on opera. And Dean Butler will tell us the real behind the scenes.
That guy looks like Brian Regan or Glenn Beck.
Saturday, 5 to 7 a.m.
Nah, it looks more like Glenn Beck. Am I interviewing Glenn Beck today? I don't think I am.
Don't miss our Made in the USA sale. Nature with Home Furnishings has always carried Sacramento's largest of American-made furniture, and it's all on sale now. The absolute best living rooms, bedrooms, dining rooms, mattresses, home office, and more. Save in every apartment. And we're proud to offer so many choices during this special sale. Nature with, the building with the water
the
wheel.
building with the water wheel.
Brooklyn Nova and Orion sent you.
Markley Van Camp and blah, blah, blah.
The Markley Van Camp and Robin Show. Weekdays from 1 to 4 on the Voice of the Foothills. Hi, I'm Jamie Markley, the Gen Xer. I'm David Van Camp, the Millennial. And me, Scott Robbins, the Boomer. Check out the Markley Van Camp and Robin Show weekdays 1 to 4. We talk about everything that's going on in the world, and we make fun of it all. 3 generations coming together to make sense of it all. And having fun at the same time. Let's see how much we can tweak Robin.
Gosh dang
Markley
it.
Van Camp and Robin Show. Weekdays from 1 to 4 on the Voice of the Foothills, FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
3 minutes to the top of the hour, 7:57 a.m. All right, gang, it is time for 3 headlines and a lie. We didn't do this yesterday, so we're going to pick it up today. 3 headlines are absolutely true. One of them is completely made up. It is your job to guess which headline is the fake one, the odd one out, the imposter, if you will. Here we go. First headline, Practical Magic 2, it's a movie title, by the way. Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman in talks to return for sequel. If there's a 1, I haven't seen the first one. Second headline, Metallica is headlining Fortnite's next concert. If you don't know what Fortnite is, it's a video game. It's interactive. Everybody plays online. And yes, there are things that actually, there are concerts that happen inside. Now, is Metallica playing in a virtual video game environment? True or false? We'll find out. Third headline, door is jammed on expensive space telescope, blocking its view of space. And here we go. Fourth headline, is it true? Is it a lie? Climate activists protested London art auction with fart machine. It's the high class news here, gang. Here we go. One more time. Practical Magic 2, Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman in talks to return for a sequel. Second headline, Metallica is headlining Fortnite's next concert. 3, door is jammed on expensive space telescope, blocking its view of space. And number 4, climate activists protest London art auction with fart machine. Think on it for just a little bit. We'll come back at the top of this next hour and let you know which of those headlines is fake and which ones are real. Back with more after this.
About how to pay for school, my education paid for. Push myself and learn new skills. Stay the same. My decision is to serve part-time with the Army National Guard, and my results will be life-changing. What will you decide? Go to nationalguard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the California Army National Guard, aired by the California Broadcasters.
20 seconds to the top of the hour. 2 hours down, gang. 1 more to go. Pausing now for station identification. Back after this.
K283C
Pausing.
and AM 950 KAHI Auburn.
And good Friday morning to you. It is Friday, and good Friday morning to you. It is Friday, June 14th. It would help me if I unmuted my mic. It is right smack dab at the top of the hour, gang. I think we need to party it up here. Let's celebrate. Getting down on Friday. Is everybody looking forward to the weekend? Are you really looking forward to the weekend? I am, but it also means that the weekend brings a list of chores. Stuff that I could basically during the week justify not doing. Now they need to be addressed. You can only stare it in the face for so long before it gets a little long in the tooth there, and that chore is saying, yep, Still here, still waiting. I can wait longer than you. So hope you're having a good day today. If today is your birthday, happy stinking birthday to you. I want to be one of the first, hopefully, to wish you a happy birthday as you're getting started with your day today. Lots of it left, lots more to go. So hope you have a great day today as you're celebrating on this Friday. Always nice to have a birthday on a Friday, huh? It's always an excuse to celebrate, an excuse to go out, to hang out. Maybe you're hanging out with friends or family, whatever that looks like. I hope you're having a great day today. Today is Flag. Okay, Rebecca, thank you. All right, that's enough of Friday. Thank you very much. Today is Flag Day, by the way. So happy Flag Day to you. Maybe you got your flag flying outside of the house. On this day in history, 1775, the Continental Army was established by the Continental Congress, marking the birth of the United States Army. Hawaii became a United States territory on this day in 1900. In 1949, Albert II, who was a monkey, if you don't recognize the name there, rode a V-2 rocket to an altitude of 83 miles, thereby becoming the first monkey in space. 1949. We were doing that in 1949? Really? All right. And in 1954, President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed a bill into law that placed the words "under God" into the United States Pledge of Allegiance. Again, mentioned this a couple of times. Whoa, a guy in a full three-piece suit just drove by on a motorcycle in front. Oh my God. Wearing a bright pink tie. That was probably one of the most fantastic things I have seen today. The day is still young, but bro in a three-piece suit just drove by on a motorcycle. That was fantastic. I'm sorry, where were we? 1954. Under God was written into the Pledge of Allegiance. Again, I thought for most of my educational life that would have made sense in my mind that was from the beginning. But no, it's as old as my mom, basically. If you're my mom, or if you are a mom, thanks for listening. Today, hey, flag trivia real quick for you. Let's see, the Pledge of Allegiance was written for the children's magazine Youth's Companion by Christian socialist author and Baptist minister Francis Bellamy on September 7th, 1892. And in New York City on April 22nd, 1951, the board of directors of the Knights of Columbus adopted a resolution to amend their let me sound it out, go back to school. Recitation of the Pledge of Allegiance at the opening of each meeting of the 804th degree assemblies of the Knights of Columbus by adding the words "under God" after the words "one nation." So that was in 51, and then in 54, Dwight D. Eisenhower made it official. Okay, got it. There we go. Have you ever talked to somebody from the Knights of Columbus? I actually have. Or was he the Knights of Templar? Anyway, this guy in Boston, one time I chatted with him. Fascinating guy. It showed me his full, chainmail. What is it? What do they have? The armor, his full suit of armor that he had. And this guy was either the best storyteller I've ever met, making stuff up, or this guy was like a Knights of Columbus or I think it's a Knights Templar. I think that's actually, I'm getting them mixed up. But anyway, his full suit of armor, and not just like a cosplayer, like it had been handed down through the generations. And again, either it was true or this guy spun a fantastic tale. Whatever it was, in Boston, it seemed very fit at one of our very historical founding sites for our country to hear the stories that he was telling me, and some of the artifacts that they had found around the building that we were in. But hey, we need to find out what today is looking like. How's this for a transition? We're going to talk to meteorologist Tim Root to see what our weather is looking like for today. Timmy, how are we looking out there today?
Mostly clear overnight around 55. The dry, sunny weather will continue Saturday and Sunday. And with that spring sunshine, it should be in the mid-80s each afternoon.
I feel like I'm just a freaking mess today. Just jumbled beyond all recognition.
At AM 950, KAHI.
Mountain Valley Property Management in Grass Valley says, don't be afraid to discuss the problems concerning drug abuse with your children, including methamphetamine.
Drug abuse?
About this growing problem through education. This message from Dave, the owner of Mountain Valley Property Management, in loving memory of his late brother who left us too soon. For information or service, call 530-272-1631, 530-272-1631 for Mountain Valley Property Management in Grass Valley. children and community.
5 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:05 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, Mary Jane Pop's going to call in. We're going to chat for a little bit. Interesting to hear what's going to be on her show this weekend. Always fun talking to Mary Jane. Off to America's First News. I'll see you back here in just a little bit.
Good Friday morning on America's First News continues. It's June 14th, and the Supreme Court unanimously upheld access to in the majority of U.S. abortions Thursday, though abortion opponents say the ruling won't be the last word in the fight over mifepristone. The decision came 2 years after the High Court overturned nationwide right to abortion. Rather than fully dive into the issue, the High Court found that anti-abortion doctors lacked the legal right to sue.
Right.
That could even open
Next section is 5 minutes.
Keep up the fight. Justice Brett Kavanaugh, who was part of the court majority 2 years ago to overturn Roe, employed a minimalist approach in the opinion that seemed designed to sidestep disagreement and arrive at a unanimous outcome. Senate Judiciary Committee Chair says his committee's uncovered at least 3 additional trips given to Justice Clarence Thomas by Republican mega donor Harlan Crow as part of the panel's ethics investigation into the Supreme Court. Durbin said Thursday the committee obtained information from Crow that Thomas took 3 trips and at least 6 flights on Crow's private jet in 2017, 2019, and 2021. The panel also found evidence of private jet travel during trips to Indonesia and California that Thomas recently disclosed in an amendment to a 2019 financial disclosure report. The Democratic-led Judiciary panel launched the investigation last year after several reports that Thomas had for years received undisclosed gifts, including international travel from Crow. Donald Trump returned to Capitol Hill Thursday, his first time meeting with lawmakers since the January 6, 2021 attack in which he told his supporters to fight like hell. He was embraced by energized House and Senate Republicans who find themselves reinvigorated by his bid to retake the White House. Despite pending federal charges against him for conspiring to overturn his 2020 election loss and his recent guilty verdict in an unrelated hush money trial, the Republican former president arrived emboldened as the party's presumptive nominee. Trump offered his usual superlatives as he tried to project party unity.
A lot of very smart people in this room and a lot of people that love our country. They love our country beyond just about all else. And the only thing that maybe supersedes it is their family and maybe their faith in certain instances, and that's very nice. But they want this country to be great again, and we're going to make it great again. And so I just want to thank the Republican Senate, and I want to thank also the House. We met, as you know, with the full House, Republican House today, and we had a tremendous meeting with them also, and there's great unity. Very similar, different topics actually, but not that different. And there's one thing in common. We want to make America great again. We want to make our country great again.
Trump has successfully purged the party of his critics. He silenced most skeptics and enticed once critical lawmakers aboard his MAGA-fueled campaign. A packed room of House Republicans sang happy birthday to Trump in a private breakfast meeting at GOP campaign headquarters. House Speaker Mike Johnson was flattered that Trump said he was doing a good job. It came a day after the House voted to hold Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt of Congress for refusing to turn over audio of President Joe Biden's interview in his classified documents case. Republicans' latest and strongest rebuke of the Justice Department as partisan conflict over the rule of law animates the 2024 presidential campaign. When it was pointed out that Republicans who are going after Garland defied subpoenas themselves, Johnson deflected.
You and leaders of police talked about the importance of Merrick Garland complying with a congressional subpoena. I'm curious, since Chairman Bowman and 4 other colleagues declined to do that under the January 6th committee, if you worry that undermines the argument at all.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought up the January 6th committee. We'll be talking a lot more about that in the coming weeks. There's been a lot of investigation about that committee. I don't think it was properly constituted. I don't think it was properly administered, and now we know that apparently some of the evidence was hidden and some maybe even destroyed. So you'll hear much more about that in the days ahead. You talk about apples to oranges. There couldn't be a more clear contrast between that and what we're talking about here. This is the Judiciary Committee. This is the Weaponization Committee. These are properly constituted and operating committees under Chairman Jordan's leadership have done extraordinary work.
Jim Jordan famously refused to comply with requests from House Committee investigating the January 6th insurrection alongside Representatives Scott Perry, Kevin McCarthy, Andy Biggs, and Mo Brooks. Johnson's logic mirrors his framing of guilty verdicts of Trump and Hunter Biden. One is evidence of a two-tiered justice system, the other, weaponization of it. Tesla shareholders voted Thursday to restore CEO Elon Musk's record $44.9 billion pay package that was tossed out by a Delaware judge earlier this year, sending a strong vote of confidence in his leadership of the electric vehicle maker.
Okay.
A favorable vote doesn't necessarily mean Musk will get the all-stock compensation anytime soon. The package is likely to remain tied up in the Delaware Chancery Court and Supreme Court for months as Tesla tries to overturn the judge's rejection.
Fifth and finally, our stockholders have approved the ratification of the 100% performance-based stock option award to Elon Musk that was approved by stockholders in 2018.
Hey guys, welcome to the Tesla shareholder meeting. And I just want to start off by saying, hot damn, I love you guys. Yeah. But we have the most awesome shareholder base. I mean, it's just incredible. Any public company, it's incredible. Wow.
Chancellor Kathleen St. Jude McCormick ruled in January in a shareholder suit that Musk essentially controlled the Tesla board when it ratified the package in 2018 and that it failed to fully inform shareholders who approved it the same year. Musk reassured shareholders that he'll stick around, telling them he can't sell any stock in the compensation package for 5 years. Tesla has struggled with falling sales and profit margins as demand for electric vehicles low worldwide. Meanwhile, 8 former employees sued SpaceX and Musk, alleging that he ordered them fired after they challenged what they called rampant sexual harassment and a hostile animal house work-style environment at the company. The employees who filed suit in a California state court detailed their complaints in a 2022 open letter to management they shared via a company intranet. The next day, 4 of the plaintiffs were fired, they alleged. Others were terminated later after an internal investigation. In January, the Federal National Labor Relations Board filed its own complaint against SpaceX based on issues raised by 9 fired employees. More on the way on this Friday morning. You've got America's First News.
America's First News. For veterans concerned about their alcohol or drug use, seeking help can be the first step toward recovery. Dr. Joseph Liberto, National Mental Health Coordinator for Substance Use Disorders with the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, has more.
May is Mental Health Month, and VA is committed to letting every veteran know that help is available. Substance use disorder can harm your physical and mental health, but it can be treated. There are thousands of veterans in recovery.
VA's Today I Am campaign highlights real stories from veterans describing how treatment, help, and resources help them improve their mental health and their lives.
VA has programs to treat substance use disorder at facilities throughout the country. We also offer telehealth services. A better, fuller life is possible. Today, you can start on the path toward recovery.
To learn more, visit maketheconnection.net/MHM.
And good Friday morning to you. It is Friday, June 14th. It is 14 minutes past the hour, 8:14 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Placerville. Currently 69 degrees where you're at right now, looking for a high today of 87 degrees. Let me tell you, kids, are we lucky or what? Every Friday, we get to talk to Mary Jane Pop, and this Friday is no exception. Mary Jane, good morning. How the heck are you this morning? No. Yeah. I remember that. Hey, by the way, I just started, speaking of Michael Douglas, I just started watching, he's playing Benjamin Franklin in a new series on Apple TV Plus. I just started watching it last night. I got about a half an hour in and then I had to go to bed, Mary Jane. It was my bedtime. Well, it's on demand, so I can kind of pull it up at any time. So I kind of hit pause and I'll get to come back to it. But so far, so good. I'm pretty impressed. And the thing that I was thinking was, and you think from an actor perspective, you know, Ben Franklin, it's an American, like I'm trying to think of accent. Like how do you voice Ben Franklin? Is there a bit of an accent? Is there no accent? How would you imagine Ben Franklin would sound? Yeah. Yeah. That's That's exactly what I thought. That's exact. Now, Michael Douglas, he chose to play him pretty much straight. There isn't really any hint of any sort of accent. So I thought maybe there would be just a little bit of something. Yeah. Well, talk to Dick Van Dyke about his Cockney accent in Mary Poppins. The famous. Well, that's true. That's true. Yes, this is more of a serious one, but I think they pick up the story where he's headed over to France. He lands on the shores of Brittany there, and now he's taking the carriage ride into Paris. And I think it looks like, having been there, it looks like they actually shot at Versailles. At least some of the exteriors they shot at the Versailles Palace. So far, very well filmed. I'm very impressed. Oh, yes. That has yeah, that has been hinted, for sure, so yeah, yeah. Okay, so and I don't know, again, this is a TV show, not historic. I don't know the historical accuracy, but when his carriage, his coach came into Paris, it was crowded around by people, and his I think it was his grandson who was with him, accompanying him, said, "Why are all these people crowding around? Why can this not go any further down the street?" And he said, "Well, they think that I'm the one that invented electricity. So they think," he said, "so they're all coming to see me. They think I'm kind of a big deal," is basically what he said. And so I don't know if that anyway. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. And to see well, we would call them costumes now, but to see the dress of the time period, and to see that, the men that almost have like the rouge on their cheeks, right? And the powdered wigs, and it's like, my goodness, what a different time for sure. Well, I know they did, and everywhere, and even to see them. But it was winter time, so just to see all the layers and layers, and I would imagine, yeah, that was probably a pretty cold trip back then. You don't have the interior heaters in the carriages there. Well, no. Yeah, and it just came with the territory. Then that's pretty much all you had. So, oh, I'm looking forward to it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh. Mm-hmm. Now, interesting. Now that's a left-hand turn. That's interesting to see how you get to that from producer to shaman. Ooh, that's a sounds like a book title. Hmm. Yeah. 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 Right. Oh, we used to. Oh, okay, that was okay. No, I loved it. We would watch it. It was a kind of a summertime. I remember during the summers we would watch. It was on in the afternoon, and my sister and I had these things. They were called slushies, and I don't know why it's tied to Little House on the Prairie, but it was a treat for us. So we would spend part of this if my parents were home, we would be there, but then we'd spend it over at my grandparents' house, and they always had Little House on the Prairie on. And we had these things where it was kind of this frozen container, and you would pour juice on it and stick or in it, and then it would go into the freezer, and then you just check it and it start to slush up, and you can make yourself a slushie. And we would get it in hours ahead of time so that by the time Little House on the Prairie came in, we would have our slushies ready to go. That was just a random memory. Oh my gosh. Oh no, well this was rerun. So these were it was a reruns for sure. I think it was on channel what was it? Channel 58 or 31 or one of those channels here locally that we always used to watch it on. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Oh, no kidding. Oh, no kidding. Oh, wow. Yeah. Right. No kidding. No kidding. I have to admit, I had a little bit of a crush on Melissa Gilbert in the later, yeah, I did little bit. Oh, I bet. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Gosh, we love that. We love that show. We used to, I remember my grandpa, even, he passed away in 2020, but even when we go over there, up until recently, it would be on in the afternoon. I don't know if it was just the only thing on, but they had it even on, even to when, not too long ago. Big fan of that show. Mhm. Mm. Right, right. Oh, wow. Very cool. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Gotta keep it a little spontaneous too. That kinda adds a little different flavor in there too. Oh, I love that. Oh, okay. I'm ready. Oh, I don't know. Okay, I said this one. Can I throw one right back at you? Today is Flag Day, so it's our National Flag Day here. So, oh, awesome, love it, love it. Okay, so what did one flag say to the other flag? No, nothing. It just waved. At night. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Also, weather-wise too. What the weather you bring it in during the bad weather? Oh. Oh, I thought. Well, okay, there you go. I thought it was supposed to be brought in during bad weather, but you're right. Like, I mean, sometimes it has to be. Yeah, I know. Yeah, now it's yeah. Yeah, yeah. Now that I think about it, I'm trying to think of back in my civics class there. We actually had it was a big honor in sixth grade. I don't know if this was a thing for you, but at our school, the sixth graders were in charge. At the end of the day, you would go and you would lower the flag, and so there would be two people, and you were like every month it would change, or every couple of weeks or something like that. And you would go out there and you would take the flag down, and they taught us how to fold it, and the respect for that we had, don't let it touch the ground. And you would go out there, and it was you got out of class for a little bit, which was we're like, yeah, there we go, great. But then right, exactly. No, but then but then you gained an appreciation for like how it should be folded, and doing the triangles and bringing in, and the respect that we should do it. And we had a couple of our classmates, I'll never forget, came in and they said, yeah, we were out there and we were taking the flag down and we were folding it up and putting it by, and a gentleman passed by and he was just so impressed with us that he gave us each $5. And exactly, we were like, what in the world? When's it my turn to fold the flag? Come on. Oh, Mary Jane, I got to tell you, I have just a lovely weekend of working on plumbing at the house. So we're still working on all the pipes and doing all that. But my contractor, aka my brother-in-law, has some free time, and so we're going to spend some quality time getting the kitchen back online, hopefully here. So it's going to be. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Right? Yeah. 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 Oh, it's never ending. Yeah, right. It's like I need to give you a reason for paying attention to me, and here's your reason. Here's your next project. So it's, it'll be good. Oh, I love it. Hit me with it. I love that. I love that. I that's exactly it. I would just love for one side to talk to each other. But in the meantime, Mary Jane, you and I, we can spread that. We can do our own one little bit at a time, right? We have a lot of fun. I'm looking for. I'm like, all right, we got Mary Jane on today. We're gonna have a good conversation. So, hey, Mary Jane, we're gonna hit it up here. We're gonna wrap it up here in just a little bit. But anything else to leave us for the week? Remind us when we can listen to the show again. No excuse at all. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, that sounds like a fantastic lineup. Mary Jane, I appreciate it. Love it as always. Have a fantastic weekend. I will be out of the studio. I'm going to be off next Friday, but we'll catch up a couple of Fridays from now. How about that? Hey, I see what you did there. Hey, have a great week. weekend, Mary Jane. We'll talk to you later. All right. Thank you. You too. Bye-bye. Thanks, Mary Jane. That was awesome. We sure do. Okay, sounds good. I'll shoot you a text message. All right, thanks. Okay, bye-bye.
Take a bite out of your electricity bill. Your rate plan today. This money saving is brought to you by Pioneer Community Energy.
Friday weather forecast is calling for mostly sunny skies. It'll be in the mid-to-upper 80s today and looks like a southwest wind about 10 miles per hour. Mostly clear overnight around 55. The dry, sunny weather will continue Saturday and Sunday. And with that spring sunshine, it should be in the mid-80s each afternoon. Summer does
Love talking to Mary Jane.
Thursday, June 20th. We'll keep you updated. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
That credit shouldn't stop you from getting a car. Visit amnestycredit.com, where a 550 credit score plus $550 a week in income equals a brand new car with interest rates as low as 4.9%. I-10, okay. To learn more, just go to amnestycredit.com and get credit approval in just seconds without impacting your credit score. That's amnestycredit.com. Stop the buy here, pay here cycle. Let us help you build your credit. The pros at amnestycredit.com are credit experts. So fill out a credit app today without impacting your credit score. Only at amnestycredit.com. We got the loan you need.
amnestycredit.com. We got the loan you need.
You can see them at night. Every day they steal from you. Any device with a digital display, light, or sleep mode steals energy. They may only steal a little bit, but like drops of water in a bucket, it adds up and you pay. Stop energy theft. Turn off printers and computers when not in use. Use a power strip for charging and turn the strip off when done. Stop energy thieves and save. Brought to you by Pioneer Community Energy.
33 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:33 a.m. Oh, my thanks to Mary Jane for calling in and chatting with me. Always fun to talk to Mary Jane. Hey, we forgot to pay off which was the headline and which was the lie. Out of our three headlines, the one that was a lie was climate activists protested London art auction with fart machine. That was the lie. The other three headlines were true. Make sure that we pay that off for you. Thanks so much, Mary Jane, for calling in. Again, remember, Pop Talk, you can catch it here on the weekends, 5 to 7 a.m. or 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays. As always, remember to be kind, be honest, be yourself, and remember, you can't hate somebody if you're hugging them. Have a fantastic weekend. Have a great Saturday and Sunday. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there on Sunday. Don't forget Sunday is Father's Day. And I will see you bright and early on Monday morning, 6 a.m. Back now to America's First News. See you on Monday.
Friday morning, America's First News continues through the 14th day of the hour. And the U.S.-built pier to bring food to Gaza is facing one of its most serious challenges yet. Its humanitarian partner is deciding if it's safe to keep delivering supplies arriving by sea to starving Palestinians. The United Nations, a player with the widest reach delivering aid within Gaza, has paused its work with the pier after a June 8th operation by Israeli security forces that rescued 4 Israeli hostages and killed more than 270 Palestinians. And sweltering temperatures, Muslim pilgrims
See you in a few.
converged on a vast tent camp in the desert on Friday, officially opening the annual Hajj pilgrimage. Ahead of the trip, they circled the Grand Mosque, Islam's holiest site. More than 1.5 million pilgrims from around the world have already amassed in and around Mecca for the Hajj, and the number was still growing as more pilgrims from inside Saudi Arabia joined. Saudi authorities expected the number of pilgrims to exceed 2 million this year. This year's Hajj comes against the backdrop of the raging war in the Gaza Strip between Israel and Palestinian militants, which pushed the entire Middle East to the brink of a regional war between Israel and its allies on one side and Iran-backed militant groups on the other. Forecasters warn Floridians to prepare for additional flash flooding after a a tropical disturbance dumped as much as 20 inches of rain in the southern parts of the state, with worsening conditions expected today. The disorganized storm system was pushing across the state from the Gulf of Mexico at roughly the same time as the early June start of hurricane season, which this year is forecast to be among the most active in recent memory. The downpours hit Tuesday and continued into Wednesday, delaying flights at two of the state's largest airports and leaving vehicles waterlogged and stalled in some of the region's lowest-lying streets. U.S. journalist Evan Gershkovich, who has been jailed for over a year in Russia on espionage charges, will stand at trial, authorities announced Thursday. An indictment of the Wall Street Journal reporter has been finalized and his case was filed. There was no word on when the trial would begin. Gershkovich was detained while on a reporting trip in March of 2023, accused of spying for the United States. State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller on the upcoming trial.
There's absolutely zero credibility to those charges. We have been clear from the start that Evan has done nothing wrong. He should never have been arrested in the first place. Journalism is not a crime. The charges against him are false, and the Russian government knows that they're false. He should be released immediately. And I can tell you that on behalf of the United States government, we will continue to work to bring home Evan Gershkovich and Paul Wayman
Okay.
Every day.
Video of a guy checking his text messages. Bye. Have a great weekend.
Are you